I want to give a shout out to some businesses that I have used for ordering bismuth online. I buy my bismuth online. I haven't found a good way to buy bismuth locally. Certainly not any local coin shops or even hardware stores. If anybody knows otherwise on how to buy bismuth locally, please feel free to share. It'd be nice to network with people, and certainly the bismuth art would be a lot more accessible if there were local businesses that did this. The first company I used was Roto Metals. And the nice thing about Roto Metals is that they have very small chunks of bismuth. So if you're just getting started and want to try something out, especially if you don't have the right machinery to break up your bismuth, these 1 pound nuggets are very nice to work with. The downside is that it's a little bit more expensive, but if you're just getting started and you want to practice, this is a good way to ensure that you have some small chunks to work with. Now, there is one thing I dislike about them, and I got into a fuss with them about it, and to their credit, they gave me a little bit of a discount. They give you a discount if you buy 60 or above, but I mistakenly thought they would send you 60 of these guys. It turns out they consolidated into a large bar, which completely defeated the purpose. If I wanted two 30-pound bars, I could have gotten a heck of a lot better deal. I ordered this because I was getting ready to move to Phoenix, and I knew I would be in a small Airbnb. I didn't want to make noise breaking up the bars. And then they sent me two 30-pound bars. And after some fussing about it, they refunded the difference between what the bars would have been and said it was a clerical error. Yeah, right. But they did fix it. But if you want to buy 2 or 3 pounds to practice, if you do want to take advantage of this deal, I recommend contacting them ahead of time to make sure that you're actually getting 60 of those 1 pound nuggets. If they're going to give you a 60-pound bar, there are better ways to buy bismuth, so I wouldn't recommend that. Roto Metals, I don't think they have the best price for the big bars, so 50 pounds, $4.49. I've done better than that. Now, one thing you might want to do if you're good friends with a local coin shop owner, most local coin shops have these x-ray machines to test metal alloys. I recommend getting some of these bars tested. I'm always paranoid that the bismuth I'm getting is contaminated with toxic materials. Lead, cadmium, maybe even some of the radioisotopes. Just because of a lot of it comes from China and the quality can be a little bit shaky. And you definitely don't want to be melting that stuff on your stovetop if it's contaminated. Okay, so that's Roto Metals. For bigger amounts of bismuth, Bolton Metals, let's see, products, bismuth, for 50 pounds of bismuth, $315. I think Roto Metals has 1,000 pounds for something. I can't remember. Sometimes they give you. I actually bought 1,000 pounds when it was 4,800. So sometimes there are specials or something like that. So definitely it pays to compare prices every time. Now and then there is one more that I did. Artco Sales and Engineering. Here's 43 pounds. I think the Bolton metal is the best deal right now, but they change from day to day, as you can imagine, just like any other metal. Now, one word of caution, depending on which site you buy it on, this is kind of a legal gray area. Some places will charge you sales tax. Probably depends on what state you live in as well. Here in Arizona, it's a legal gray area because there's no sales tax for quote-unquote precious metal bullion. And whether or not bismuth qualifies for that is kind of a legal gray area. In Washington state, it does state no sales tax on gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They actually do spell it out over there. So you'll have to shop around. If you use eBay, they do charge you sales tax, which is unfortunate because sometimes these companies make better offers on eBay, but you can always feel free to email them if you see it. Anyways, the other thing Roto Metals does is you can buy all sorts of exotic metals. You may remember I had some tellurium at one point. I believe I got it on roto metals. Antimony, indium, lead, magnesium, pewter alloys, tin, zinc. Although if you need zinc, just take pennies from 82 and later and melt them down. It's a lot cheaper than any of this probably. And presumably they do also buy back metals. So if the Hunt Brothers occurs with any of these metals, I guess this is a good resource to have on hand.